You're finished, Kang. Don't try anything, we've got you surrounded.
Curse you, Richards. My plans would have succeeded by now were it not for that blasted telepath.
You're right about that, Kang. Professor Xavier was critical in detecting your sinister plans and detaining you.
Oh, that gives me an idea.
Scott, don't let him... Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Clix with Q. Tonight, I'm very pleased to present to you game number 2, The Mountaintop. So, before we get into it, let's go over the characters. On the hero side, we have Mr. Fantastic. Now, this Mr. Fantastic comes from the Fantastic Four Cosmic Clash starter set, which was long overdue for a great many people. The Fantastic Four are finally back in HeroClix. And this Mr. Fantastic pretty much covers all the bases of what one would expect to see in a pretty efficiently costed Mr. Fantastic. We're rocking a double outwit, essentially, that can go through Power Cosmic or Stop Clix. So that's probably the biggest takeaway from this Mr. Fantastic. Next on the list, we have Thor Odinson from the Hammer of Thor set. A little bit of an older piece. But he is a title character, and the sculpt is beautiful. And just looking at his dial, he's just a mean, thick boy. And I really like playing this Thor, particularly because of his title abilities, which allow him to make essentially like a double lightning shot if he succeeds on his first ranged attack. Next on the list, we have Professor X. This is from Xavier's School set. This Professor X I really love the sculpt of, and his mind control ability to target everybody within range, regardless of line of fire, is very Professor X and a very enjoyable power to use. And lastly, on the hero squad, we have the Wolverine. This one hails from the new X-Men animated series set, which is a fantastic set in general. If you guys have the chance to pick up any pieces from that, I would highly recommend it. It's a really great palette of the X-Men. Now, this Wolverine is really just going to be primarily a DPS type fella. He's got charge and Blades, Claws, Fangs, and Flurry, so you really want to get him into the action as soon as you can. Let that invulnerability take care of the first hit, and just put him in there to essentially get whacked, but to do as much damage as he can before he goes down. For the villain side, we have Dr. Doom. This Dr. Doom hails from the same set as that Mr. Fantastic, the Cosmic Clash starter set. And to be honest with you folks, this Dr. Doom is the primo Doom. He is top-notch. His dial is unbelievable at the 300 point, and even at the 200 point, he's still rocking 2 stop clicks, a lot of penetrating damage, outwit. He's got essentially the alternate form of Mr. Fantastic's outwit, where instead of being able to outwit a person of lower point or of higher point value, that's what Mr. Fantastic's is. Doom can do a person of lower point value, which is going to be most people to him because you're generally going to be running him at the 200 or 300 line. I don't see really a lot of use at the 100 line unless you're having an entirely Doom-themed team, in which case that might be something you'd want to do. Next on the list, we have Kang the Conqueror, a title character. This Kang is truly one of my favorite pieces in HeroClix today. He really, really perfectly encapsulates what Kang can do. And so the title ability allowing him to create portals and then be given a free action to just pop around and make an attack from each of those portals is just fantastic. Really excited to play this one. And we gotta love the sitting on the air throne like we saw in his first appearance in the Avengers. Last but certainly not least, we have Magneto Realist, another title character. I know that usually we don't put, and by we don't put, I mean it's against the rules to put 2 title characters on one squad. But I think by looking at the points lineup, you can see that the heroes certainly have a big point advantage, which is partially due to the fact that some of their characters are a little bit older. So we're kind of trying to even it out here by giving the villains a little bit more of an edge. This Magneto is particularly useful, especially on a Brotherhood team, but I'm excited to see what he can pull off in this game. Alright, we're kicking it off with turn 1. Now remember, gentlemen, keep your guard up. My scans indicate that Kang is somewhere around here. First things first, Thor is going to move 11 spaces forward. He's going to pick up Professor X in doing so that's -1. So he moves 10 spaces forward.
Here, let me, Professor.
Next, Mr. Fantastic is going to move 8. In the process of that, he's going to pick up that barrel. Fascinating. This barrel's giving off an unusual reading. And finally, he's going to sidestep up the cliff there.
Show off. Guess I'll take the scenic route.
Last but not least, we have the Wolverine, who's going to move up 9 squares in a pincer formation. For the Doom Squad, Magneto's going to pick up Kang and move forward 9 squares.
The time has come, Master of Magnetism, if you would.
This had better not be a waste of my time for your sake, Kang.
Finally, Doom is rid of that incessant prattling.
Doom is going to roll for his special leadership ability, which he rolls a 3, so that's a fail. Now Doom is going to move 10 squares.
Doom! Verily, miscreant, your mettle will be tested this day.
Bow, God of Thunder.
And Doom will outwit Thor's hypersonic speed. Back for turn 2. Professor X and Mr. Fantastic are both going to use their leadership. Mr. Fantastic rolls a 5, so that's a success. And Professor X rolls a 4, so that's a failure. Wolverine! Thor needs backup! Mr. Fantastic is going to remove an action token from the Wolverine. Thor is going to move up 11 squares, picking up Professor X in the process. He's going to put him down right there, and he's going to end his move by picking up that super heavy object.
I won't let him harm you, Professor. But you'll excuse me if I change our plan a bit.
Professor X is going to use his mind control ability to target all of the enemies because they're all within range. Notice that he does not have to worry about blocking, hindering, elevated. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's going to mind control you. Excellent thinking, Odinson. Now let me do some excellent thinking. Professor X has a 12 attack, and he rolls an 11. That's a 23. That is a hit. He hits all targets. As for what he's going to do with them, Doom is going to move forward 5 squares. Magneto's going to move 4 squares. And he's going to leave Kang there.
Ah! What is this? Who dares?
For Wolverine's turn, he's going to charge Dr. Doom.
I dare, bub.
He has an 11 attack, and he rolls a 7. That is a hit. He's not going to roll for Blaze Claw's Fangs. Doesn't want to take the risk that it's not going to do any damage. He's just going to go ahead and stick with his 3 damage, his 3 printed. Minus Dr. Doom's -2 for invulnerability. That'll do 1 click of damage.
None shall lay hands on Doom.
Mr. Fantastic is going to sidestep. Dr. Doom! Next, Mr. Fantastic is going to outwit Doom's special defense power. Now, a note to people watching this. At the time, I did not know that you could not outwit stop clicks, which is unbelievable and makes that Doom even better. I'm actually kind of happy about it because every time I've played him, somebody's played that Reed or somebody and they've outwitted his special power and then he's just gotten walloped and it never mattered that he had a stop click. So I'm glad now that that those are like sacred stop clicks. So, but anyway, for this game, I did it, so we're gonna roll with it. Mr. Fantastic outwits Doom's special defense power. Mr. Fantastic is going to make a close attack against Dr. Doom. Victor, Kang is only going to betray you. You've got to stop and think about what you're doing.
Richards!
He has an 11 at attack, and he rolls a 7. That's an 18 again. So that's another hit. That's 3 damage, but plus the 1 for the object, that would be 4. However, Doom is going to use probability control on that attack. Mr. Fantastic has to re-roll. His 11 plus a 5. That is not an 18, ladies and gentlemen. That is a miss.
Pathetic.
Back with the Doom Squad. Dr. Doom and Magneto are both going to roll for leadership. They both roll a 5. And they're both going to remove those tokens from themselves.
Doom reigns!
Magneto's going to use a free action to use his plot ability to add 1+ to attack for all allies within range.
Give up, Charles! Don't make me kill you!
And he's going to make a close combat attack against Professor X. He now has a 12 at attack, plus a 6. That is an 18. That is a hit. That's 4 clicks of damage. Dr. Doom is going to sidestep. Now he has to get away from Mr. Fantastic's plasticity, so he has to roll a 6 here. And that is a success. Dr. Doom is now going to use Penetrating Blast on Wolverine and Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic rolls for That's a 4, so Dr. Doom can target him. He currently has a 12 at attack, plus an 8 is a 20. That's a hit on both of them. Mr. Fantastic rolls for his super senses. That's a 3, that is a fail. So it is 2 clicks apiece to Wolverine and Mr. Fantastic.
Pay for your insolence.
Kang is going to attempt to break away from Thor. He rolls a 5, so that is a success. And now he's going to running shot Thor.
Stand and fight, cretin!
Sorry, Thor, but it's, not a good time.
He currently has a 12 at attack, plus a 9 is a 21, so that is a hit. That'll do 1 click of damage to Thor because he has invincible. And now Kang is going to use his plot ability to generate a portal.
Excellent. It works precisely as expected.
Back for turn 3. Mr. Fantastic and Professor X are both going to roll for leadership. Mr. Fantastic rolls a 5 and Professor X a 1, so that's a success for one of those. And Mr. Fantastic's going to remove that action token from Thor. Professor X is going to attempt to mind control Magneto. He has a 9 at attack. And he rolls a 5. That is not an 18, so that is a miss. Mr. Fantastic is going to use his special outwit ability to outwit Doom's defense power. My calculations indicate that Doom's armor can be short-circuited with a heavy dose of electrical stimuli.
Say no more, man of rubber.
Yeah, High Pockets was giving me a headache.
Thor is going to use hypersonic speed. He's going to make a ranged combat attack against Dr. Doom. He has an 11 at attack, and he rolls a 9. That is a 20, so that is a hit.
Have thy fill of lightning, fiend!
Now, Dr. Doom is going to use probability control on that. 11 plus a 5 is not a hit, so that is a miss, unfortunately.
Fool! Did you think Doom unprepared for your feeble attack?
The Wolverine is going to charge Dr. Doom.
How's this for feeble, you lousy tin can?
And he's going to use flurry. So for his first attack, he has an 11 at attack. And he rolls a 10. It's a 21. That is a hit. He's going to go ahead and do 3 clicks of damage to Dr. Doom. And Dr. Doom hits his stop click again.
Grr. You have sealed your fate, mongrel.
He's now going to choose close combat reflexes for Wolverine's second attack due to flurry. Wolverine has an 11 attack. Plus a 9, that's a 20, that's a hit. Now Dr. Doom is going to prob this one. He lost it, but then he got it again, so he's going to prob that attack. That's a 6, so that's a 19, that's not a hit. Mr. Fantastic is going to clear. For the Doom squad, Magneto and Doom are both going to roll for leadership. Magneto rolls a 6, Doom a 1. So Magneto's going to remove that token from Kang.
You'd better know what you're doing, Conqueror.
Patience, Master of Magnetism. All in due time.
Kang is going to make another ranged combat attack against Thor. He has an 11 attack, plus a 7. That's an 18. That's a hit. Again, that's 1 click of damage because of Thor's invincible. Kang is, again, going to place another portal. Dr. Doom is going to Pulse Wave, and he's going to target Mr. Fantastic, Wolverine, and Thor. He has a 10 attack, and he rolls an 8, so that is a hit. That's an 18. It hits everybody, and they all take 1 point of damage.
Enough!
Magneto's going to clear. Turn 4. Mr. Fantastic and Professor X are both going to roll for leadership. They both roll a 3, so that's a fail. Mr. Fantastic is going to use his special outwit power to outwit Doom's defense. And he's going to use his regular outwit to outwit Dr. Doom's probability control. You're a fool for trusting Kang, Doom.
The insolence.
He's now going to make a close attack, his giant reach being 4 due to his last shape change roll, against Dr. Doom. He has a 10 attack, and he rolls an 11. That's a 21. That's a hit. So that'll do 2 clicks of damage to Dr. Doom. Your pride always was your downfall, Victor. Professor X is going to clear. Thor Odinson's going to clear. The Wolverine is going to clear. Dr. Doom and Magneto are both going to roll for leadership. They roll a 2 and a 3. So that's a fail. Magneto's going to use his plot ability to add 1+ attack to everybody who's within range.
Charlatan, is your goal nearly complete?
Fine, I suppose I could speed up the schedule.
Kang is actually going to push. And he's going to use his penetrating second blast on Thor. He would normally have an 11 attack, but he has a 12 currently. He rolls an 8. That's a 19. That is a hit. So that's 3 penetrating damage to Thor. His invulnerability will not reduce that penetrating damage. That's 3 clicks of damage.
How does that vibro ray feel, Thor? I'm surprised you haven't exploded by now. I suppose excruciating pain will have to do.
Kang is now going to use his plot ability to place yet another portal. He now has 3 plot points.
There.
Magneto's going to make a close combat attack against Professor Xavier. He has a 12 attack. This should be pretty easy here. And he rolls a 4. That is not a 17. That's a miss.
Don't make this difficult.
Attic, please, don't do this. Dr. Doom is going to clear. Getting down to the wire here with turn 5. Professor X and Mr. Fantastic are going to roll for leadership. That's a 3 and a 3. Again, strange. Thor is going to make a ranged combat attack against Dr. Doom. He has an 11 attack, and he rolls a 7. That's an 18. I think it's interesting to note here that Dr. Doom, well, Kang could probability control that because Thor is within range and line of sight. However, he's not going to.
Enough!
So that is a hit with 4 damage. Dr. Doom takes 4 clicks, and that is curtains for Dr. Doom, ladies and gentlemen.
Just as I suspected. Doom's armor can't withstand the intense
My armor!
stimuli.
Richard!
Again, I'd like to point out that I was allowing Dr. Doom's defense power to be outwitted, which is not allowed. You can't outwit Stop Clix, at least from what I took a good bit of time trying to figure out what the wording was on Stop Clix, and it seems to me that they can't be outwitted in any way. They can't be stopped. They can't be stopped, no pun intended. There's nothing you can do to circumvent a Stop Click, which I think is really cool. I think that's the whole point of Stop Clicks. So I do want to point that out. Unfortunately, Doom got the short end of my lack of knowledge of the rules stick. I actually keep my lack of knowledge of the rules stick in the back there next to my brooms. I have multiple brooms. Moving on. Thor is going to use his plot ability to make another attack, a ranged attack, and he's going to do it against Kang.
You have stirred the wrath of the God of Thunder.
He has an 11 attack, plus a 6. That's a miss. That is not a 20.
I really ought to thank you, Thor. I'm not so sure I could have dispatched Doom by myself.
Wolverine is going to move 7 squares.
Looks like you could use some help, Goldilocks.
Mr. Fantastic is going to move up 6 squares, and he's going to pick that barrel up again. Mr. Fantastic is going to outwit Magneto's leadership. That's far enough, Magneto. Can't you see you're finished? You haven't a chance. And Professor X is going to mind control Magneto. He has a 9 in attack, and he rolls a 4. That is not an 18. That's a miss.
Something is blurring my... Kang, good lord!
It's kind of in doubt now whether or not this is the Doom or the Kang team. So, I'm just going to call it the Kang team. Well, Magneto's leadership is outwitted, so he can't do any of that. However, he is going to push, and he's going to make a close combat attack against Mr. Fantastic.
Interloper, behold, with but a gesture, I shall make that weapon leap from your hand.
Mr. Fantastic rolls for his shape change. That's a 4, so he can be targeted. Magneto's 11 attack, plus... That's a critical miss, ladies and gentlemen.
What? My power! You've done something to my magnetism!
It's simple, Magneto. I merely tricked you. You see, my barrel's made of wood, and you can't control wood. So, Magneto will take the mandatory critical miss damage and the push damage for a grand total of 2 clicks of damage to Magneto. Magneto is going to sidestep, and he rolls a 1 minus Mr. Fantastic's 2 for plasticity. He's not going anywhere.
Blast you, Richards!
Kang the Conqueror is going to use his special plot ability, his final plot ability there, and he's going to appear at each of his portals and make an attack.
Now you will all bow before Kang the Great, Kang the Timeless, Kang the Conqueror!
So for his first attack, he's going to penetrating psychic blast Thor. He has an 11 attack plus 8. That's a 19. Thor has impervious, and he rolls a 4. He had to get a 5 or a 6, so that is a hit. That's 3 penetrating damage. That'll be 3 clicks of damage, and that is KO for Thor. Out of the game.
Dishonorable.
Next, Kang is going to switch over to that other portal and make a close combat attack against the Wolverine. He has an 11 attack again. Rolls a 6. That is a 17. That's a hit. 3 damage minus Wolverine's toughness, so that'll do 2 clicks of damage to Wolverine.
You should have killed me when you had the chance. But you didn't.
And finally, Kang is going to appear at that final portal and make another close combat attack against the Wolverine. He has an 11 attack plus... That's another 6, ladies and gentlemen. That's a 17, a hit. That'll be 3 damage, and Wolverine doesn't have any users, so that'll be 3 clicks of damage straight up.
Oh.
And the Wolverine is KO'd as well. Ooh, that was a good turn for Kang the Conqueror. And now, after all that work is done, all that free action work, Kang the Conqueror is going to clear. Breaking it down, turn 6. Both Mr. Fantastic and Professor X are going to roll for their leaderships. 3 and a 1, no good. Professor X is going to attempt to mind control Magneto. He has a 9 at attack, and he rolls an 8. So that's a 17. That's a hit.
I'm sorry, Eric, but I gave you a chance to cooperate willingly.
Magneto's going to move 4 squares, and he's going to make a close attack against Kang.
Get out of my head!
He has a 10 at attack, and he rolls another critical miss for Magneto. That is not an 18. That's 1 damage. Oh, wow, it's not Magneto's day.
A momentary lapse.
Mr. Fantastic's gonna clear. For the Kang squad, Kang is gonna use running shot against Mr. Fantastic.
I've run out of patience, and they've run out of time.
Mr. Fantastic is gonna roll for his shape change. That is a 5, so he cannot target him. Since Kang doesn't have anybody to target, he's not gonna. Don't count your chips quite yet, Kang. You've still got me to contend with.
For the time being.
Magneto is going to sidestep, and Magneto's going to clear. All right, on to turn 7. They're both going to roll for leadership again. A 3 and a 2, no dice. I mean, there were 2 dice, but there were. Never mind. Now he's going to sidestep. Mr. Fantastic's now going to make a close combat attack against Kang. Mr. Fantastic has a 10 at attack. Rolls. Another critical miss. Wow.
I've got to reach the controls of his hover throne.
At least it wasn't Magneto. Wow, it's a critical miss. He misses and he does a damage to himself. Professor X is going to clear. For their turn, Kang is going to push and make a close attack against Mr. Fantastic.
Let's end this, as it always should have.
Mr. Fantastic rolls for his shape change. That is a 3, so we can target him. He has an 11 attack, plus an 8. That is a 19. Mr. Fantastic has super senses, and he rolls a 4. That is not successful. So that is 3 clicks of damage to Mr. Fantastic, and he is KO'd. It's not looking too good for Professor Xavier over here. Magneto is going to sidestep, and he's going to use long-range combat expert on Professor Xavier.
If only you would surrender, Charles.
He's going to put it all in attack. And he rolls 10. That is a hit.
Eric, no! He's going to...
And Professor Xavier is KO'd.
Excellent work, Magneto. In fact, I have your reward right here.
And that'll be game for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Team Kang takes home the trophy. It was a hard-fought battle, but they had a few tricks up their sleeves. I hope you enjoyed this, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. There'll be more games, obviously. This is just game 2.